Hello and welcome, dear students. Myself, Piraj Majumdar, Assistant Professor of Mechanical Engineering Department, Greater Kolkata College of Engineering and Management under JIS Group. I welcome you to my official YouTube channel, that is Mech Pro Classes. You can see over here. You can contact me for any query to my personal contact number at 94334 or if you wish you can also email me to my email id at pirajsir@gmail.com. You can also connect me through Facebook. My official Facebook page is Mech Pro Classes. Now we are continuing the manufacturing processes. So I would like to let you know that I have already uploaded some of the videos of manufacturing processes as well. Now if you want to have a daily updates as well as for future updates also, you can visit my YouTube page and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now for ready reference, I will give you a PDF of my PPT where you will find this YouTube icon along with the YouTube logo of my official YouTube channel. By clicking on the YouTube icon on the PDF, just like that, you can directly visit my YouTube channel. So this icon, you can click on this icon, this one. So here you can see this is my official YouTube channel, Mech Pro Classes. Here you can see. So here you will get all the updates regarding my uploading of different subjects in mechanical engineering. So you can just subscribe onto it and will get daily updates. Okay. Now similarly, you can also visit directly to my official Facebook page and connect with me by just clicking on this Facebook icon, just like that. So you can see this is the Mech Pro Classes official Facebook page. So you can also connect me through Facebook by liking this official page of Mech Pro Classes. Okay. So let us now continue our classes on manufacturing processes. So students, we have previously completed physics of welding, brazing as well as soldering portions also we have discussed in my last two videos. So today we have this design considerations in welding. Okay, so we will discuss today the design considerations in welding. Let us start today's class. Students, let us start discussing about the design considerations in welding. So talking about designs consideration, I should first introduce you with the most commonly used welding fabrication techniques with you first. So literally there are three processes most commonly used for welding metal stampings and fabrication, that is the gas metal arc welding and GMAW or MIG, and gas tungsten arc welding GTAW or TIG, and also gas welding. Laser welding is being more widely employed for companies requiring large quantities of multi-point welds. This method employs robots welding at speeds of up to 150 inches per minute. And plasma arc welding, ultrasonic welding, electron beam welding are available also, but these methods are usually restricted to welding of particular materials with special design requirements. So what we have here is that you can see that a MIG and TIG. TIG is the particular welding technology where we are using non-consumable electrode, and MIG is also famous. They are also versatile for mass production, actually not production, actually mass fabrication, I must say.
So for in a very small time you can have a very large number of fabrication out of this MIG and TIG process as well. So high speed can be obtained both from MIG and TIG. Both are this MIG is very versatile for magnesium, aluminum. TIG is also for aluminum actually. So they are very versatile in joining with high welding speeds. Okay. So next, talking about the this design consideration, let us first discuss about the weldable materials. What are the mainly weldable materials that can be very easily welded by the help of these processes? So MIG and TIG processes can weld practically all ferrous and non-ferrous materials to themselves or to very similar alloy compositions also. Okay, so MIG and TIG process can weld practically all the ferrous and non-ferrous actually. When welding dissimilar metals, so you must take a note that it is very important. So for welding dissimilar metals, TIG is the best process. Why is because it actually permits carbon steels to be joined to stainless or to copper alloys as well. Okay, so for dissimilar metals, TIG is the best choice, I must say you. Okay, and high carbon steels also TIG is very much favorable. Okay, now considerations should be given to consequent effects before opting for such designs, such as this galvanic corrosion and differences in expansion coefficients and conductivity also. So these two things you must take a note. They are the galvanic corrosion and difference in expansion coefficients and conductivity, as because when you are going for dissimilar metal joining process, you have to keep in mind that they have got differences in expansion coefficient and also conductivity. So you have to deal very carefully with electric current, as because this conductivity is different for different materials. So keeping in mind this expansion coefficient, that is the thermal conductivity or electrical conductivity, whatever may be the issue, you have to think of that very minutely, as because you are going to join dissimilar metals. Okay, so now to avoid machining problems due to HAZ, already I have discussed HAZ, that is the heat affected zone. The weld should be away from the material to be machined. So in order to keep the material out of the heat affected zone, or at least to keep a safer distance as much as possible, you have to think of that the material should be weld should be away from the material to be machined, as because there will be some this microstructural changes due to the has been heat affected zone, and that zone is caused by the high temperature produced during welding process. So what happens sometimes, the changes in microstructural can reduce the hardenability, so while machining it may develop a crack also. So you have to keep in mind that you have to avoid machining problems due to HAZ. The weld should be away from the material to be machined. Next is welded sub-assemblies should be used for complex final assemblies so that handling of the parts can be simplified. This is also an important thing, that the sub-assemblies, when you are joining the sub-assemblies, should be used for complex final assemblies so that the handling of the parts can be simplified. If you want to have a complex shape and if you are joining all at a time, then the handling will be much difficult. So you have to make sub-assemblies, and then you have to it will be easier for you for the handling purpose. Okay, now when machining a groove on the end of a cylindrical component, it is better to include a backup strip as an integral part of the component to be welded. So what does it means that when there is a groove, means this actually there is a lower portion, or I should say there is a change in diameter, that is the reduction in the diameter. So when machining a groove on the end of a cylindrical component, so when there is a sudden decrease in the diameter, so that is the groove, it is better to make a include a backup strip as an integral part of the component to be welded. Okay, so it will be a safer one to use a backup strip. Okay, as because there will be a sudden dimensional change, that is a reduction in the diameter, so you have to take it as very carefully. Okay, so now weldability. So weldability is one of the foremost and most important thing while for a welder, while before going directly to the welding operation. The weldability, as I earlier discussed with you, the machinability in different session in metal cutting module. I have discussed this machinability, the ease of machining material. Similarly, weldability of a material also refers to its ability to be welded. How much ease it can provide you to get welded. Okay, so that is the weldability of a material. How easily you can weld a material or join a material. Okay, so that is the property of a material, weldability. Okay, so many metals and thermoplastics can be welded, but some are easier to weld than others. So you have to keep in mind that when you are dealing with different type of materials, maybe at similar or dissimilar joining dissimilar or similar materials, so you have to keep in mind that some materials can be welded very easily, while others they are creating some nuisance during welding. So you have to consider that point also. Now it greatly influences weld quality, and it is an important factor in choosing which welding process to use. So different materials have got its different weldability. That's why you have to keep in mind that which process is best to suited for that particular type of material. Also, some materials can be easily welded, so no need to worry, but some are not that much of easy to get welded. Okay, so you have to keep in mind that thing. Now weldability is simply a measure of how easy it is to make a weld in a particular material without any cracks. Okay, that is the definition actually of a weldability. If it is easy to avoid cracking, the material is deemed weldable. So that is the whole definition. You have to keep in mind that weldability is simply a measure of how easy it is to make a weld in a particular material without cracks. If it is easy to avoid cracking, the material is deemed weldable. Next we have for a weld to be truly successful, however, it is also necessary for it to have adequate mechanical properties and to be able to withstand degradation in service, that is corrosion damage. Okay, so corrosion damage is one of the most challenging criteria in a weldability of a particular material. For each and every material, actually this corrosion damage is a very critical issue. Okay, so you have to keep in mind that for truly successful weld, it is always also necessary to have adequate mechanical properties and to be able to withstand degradation in service. Okay, so next, coming to directly, we are also discussing about the weld design up to now, but now we are coming directly to the weld design and process selection. Okay, criteria. So what we have here is the considerations that configuration of the components are structured to be welded and their thickness. So you have to keep in mind that configuration is the most important criteria. We are also discussing about these things. So configuration of the components or structures to be welded and their thickness and size. There is the first criteria. Methods to use to manufacture the components. So what are the methods commonly we are employing or using during welding? Okay. Next is your service requirements. Okay. So service requirements, what is the service requirements, what are the type of loading and what are the stresses generated. So that is also very much important in the consideration of design of welding also. Okay. Next is your location, accessibility and ease of welding. So three most vital point, that is the location, accessibility and ease of welding. Next is your effects of distortion and discoloration. It is also very important. So you have to keep in mind in the design criteria in the welding process that the effects of distortion or vibration or whatever may be, a combined effect causes the distortion and discoloration also. Okay. Next we have the appearance. How you want to be shiny or not shiny, and many other criteria also. So that is the appearance. Next is your costs involved. Okay. So these things are very important while designing. So you have to keep these considerations in mind before the welding process. Now the residual stresses is a challenging factor while welding, during welding also. It is caused because of localized heating and cooling during welding. Expansion, contraction of the weld area causes residual stresses in the workpiece. Distortion, as I earlier told you, due to vibration or anything may cause distortion. Uneven frequencies causes also distortion. Warping, buckling of welded parts also. Next is your stress corrosion cracking. Further distortion if a portion of the welded structure is subsequently removed. It also reduced the fatigue life as well. Next we have stress relieving of welds. How to remove the residual stress that already developed maximum in the HAZ area, that is the heat affected zone. How to remove that stress area, as because that stress will cause uneven fracture or even may failure in the welded joints. So you have to keep out the stresses, you have to relieve the stress of the welds. So preheating is one of the most important technique to relieve the stress. So preheating reduces problems caused by the base metals for the parts to be welded. Now heating can be done electrically in furnace for thin surfaces, radiant lamp or hot air blast. Some other methods of stress relieving are also there, that is a pinning, short pinning, stress relieving methods are there. Next is your hammering or even by surface rolling also. So these are the methods of relieving the stress of welds. Now coming to the design objectives. So you have to first hold the part in the most convenient position for welding. You have to provide proper heat control of the weld zone. Next, you have to provide suitable clamping to reduce distortion. As I earlier told you, there may be uneven frequency, vibrations which may cause distortion. As a result, it will give you a much weaker weld, that is the strength will be much weaker. Okay, so you have to keep in mind that suitable clamping is very much essential to reduce distortion effect during welding operation. Next, to provide channels and outlets for welding atmosphere. That is also going to be very important, to provide channels and outlets for welding atmosphere as well. Next, you have to provide clearance for filler material, as because without the clearance the filler metal will not spread across the surface, which will result in poor weld strength. Next, you have to keep in mind that to provide for ease of operation and maximum accessibility to the point of weld. So how easily you can perform the welding operation, you have to check for that, and you have to also check the maximum accessibility to the point of weld for the better flow of filler materials across whole of the surfaces to be joined, which will eventually give you a strong weld. So here we have, when welding dissimilar metals requires special attention to electrodes composition, that you have to also check, then welding technique and other factors, and involves additional cost as well. Now, steels coated with cadmium, lead, tin and zinc present special problems in achieving a sound, cost effective and cosmetically acceptable weld. In all cases, toxic gases are produced, so you have to check for that also, which may harm the operator's health. Even aluminum coated steel presents difficulty and requires special methods. Further, when coatings are removed to facilitate welding, they usually must be reapplied afterwards at a additional cost. So these points are going to be very much important in design criteria while selection of the different design welding techniques. Okay, now I also discussed with this one to avoid machining problems due to haze as well. Now, design considerations are the welding produces monolithic or one-piece structures, as you already know, as because we are getting a one-piece structure out of the welding. Okay, now welding joints do not crack propagation. Cracks propagation typically does not travel through a bolted joint. Vibration stresses are transferred through a weld joint. Bolted joints absorb some of the vibration also. Welded structure are more rigid than bolted assemblies. Okay, so these things you have to keep in mind. Now, certain design considerations have to be applied to fixtures for resistance welding. It is a special case, resistance welding. Keep all magnetic materials, particularly ferrous materials, out of the throat of the welding machine. Insulate all gauge pins, clamps, locators, index pins, etc. Protect all moving slides, bearings, index pins, adjustable screws and any accurate locating devices from the flash. Give consideration to the ease of operation and protection to the operator as well. Provide sufficient water cooling to prevent overheating. Now, coming to the design procedure, that is very important before selection of the welding process. In the first point, we have definition of the problem. You have to define the problem before design. Next, you have to synthesis. Next is the analysis of forces. Next is the selection of the material. Next is the determination of mode of failure. Next, we have to selection of the factor of safety. Next is the determination of dimensions. Next is the modifications of dimensions. Next is the preparations of drawings, and another one is the preparation of design report. So this 10 point, there are also many other points, but this 10 point is the most vital point for design procedure in welding. Now, some more points I would like to add while design consideration in welding. Use the minimum possible number of welds. Select the maximum thickness for the parts to be welded together. Locate the welds at the areas in the design where stresses and or deflections are not critical. Effect of shrinkage and distortion should be minimized by post-welding annealing and stress relief operations. Decide proper welding sequence. Design welding in the flat or horizontal position and not in the overhead position. So you have to keep in mind while having the welding, you have to stick to the flat or horizontal position most of the time. Try to avoid the overhead position in welding. Use only the amount of weld metal that is absolutely required. Don't use excess. So we have got today our discussions on design criteria or design considerations in welding. So hope you have enjoyed today's class. We'll be having some more discussion on this particular module in our coming classes. Thank you for watching.